Welcome back to another Watch Depot watch unboxing. Today we're taking a look at two new releases from G-Shock in their full metal range. Most of you are probably familiar with the full metal range by now. They're big, bold looks, and these models here are really the peak of that range. These are fully metal, like the name suggests, and they include the tough solar movement and of course Bluetooth connectivity, making these super reliable in terms of battery life and super easy to use with the Casio Watches app. In my hands now is the GMB2100AD-2AD Casio model. This model uses a beautiful navy blue dial with a slight sunburst effect to it. In my opinion, this is a fantastic looking dial. There's good contrast between the stainless steel hands and hour markers above that blue dial, making legibility no issue. On the lower half of that dial, we do have a display cutout which is inverted, seemingly to match the dark colored dial. You'll find the day and date here, as well as the seconds ticking along. The subdial at 9 denotes which mode you have the watch in, and overall this is just your standard Casio face, no real changes here. Of course, being a full metal watch, it's completely made of stainless steel, and that includes the case, bezel and bracelet. Now looking closer at the bezel, there's a really nice brushed texture which works well to break up the otherwise polished exterior. Now looking at the bracelet, there is this dimpled effect that's actually come from the very first G-Shock design. It's always nice to see these little throwbacks from the G-Shock team. Bracelet is going to be the same between these two models. It's not a hair grabber, so good news there, and a simple one-touch three-fold clasp keeps this one on the wrist. Dimensions are of course quite large, too large for me, but here we go. 49.8mm lug to lug, 44.4mm wide, and 12.8mm thick. Weight clocks in at a hefty 165 grams, meaning you won't be forgetting this one on the wrist. To connect this one to your phone, just download the Casio Watches app and follow the instructions included with your watch. From here you can change the time and set all of the necessary settings. Okay, let's move on to the next model, and this is the GMWB5000D-2. This one taking on that classic Casio rectangular shape, and this one is fully digital. Like the Casio model, this one also uses G-Shock's tough solar to power the battery and includes Bluetooth connectivity as well. Now, it is worth mentioning that this solar battery used in both models lasts for 10 months without any exposure to light. So unless you like to hibernate in a cave for most of the year, you have absolutely no issues keeping time on either of these models. On this model here, we have an inverted display. Now, I will say this inverted display is tricky to read and you do have to get the right angle. So if legibility is an issue for you, go for that Casio model I showed earlier. But if you don't mind and you like the inverted display, go for this model. Dimensions on this model are about the same as the previous, with 49.3mm lug to lug, 43.2mm wide, and 13mm thick. This one weighs slightly more at 167 grams. Both of these models are actually made in Japan, which, believe it or not, isn't the case for all G-Shock models. Being a Japanese brand, you would assume they're all made in Japan, but some are made overseas, like in China. So if you care about a Japanese made model, there you go, these ones are made in Japan. So there's two new G-Shocks. They've got all metal designs, they've got tough solar movements and Bluetooth connectivity. They're both very flashy, very big pieces. So what do we think? Which one are you leaning towards? Me, personally, I'd have to go with the Casio model, as I'm a big fan of those analog hands and that big blue dial. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more watch content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.